unmute myself.
There you go.
Morning, everyone. My name's Corey. I am the Executive Director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society. Happy to be here. If you weren't on with us yesterday we spent our time discussing all the different services that the Humane Society offers to the community. Today we're going to focus on adoptions, how we go about that process. We'll give you a little tour of our adoption areas. Just a little bit of statistics. I'm a stats guy, but we handle mainly cats and dogs, but every so often we deal with horses, rabbits, snakes, potbelly pigs. So once in a while we'll have those type of animals available for adoption, but our main focus is cats and dogs. We bring in about 1,200 of them a year. We get them from all different situations. So we handle a lot of owner surrenders. We handle all the cruelty cases in Fairfield County. So we typically seize about 100 animals a year from bad situations. You'll actually see some cats we have available today that we've held on to since we seized them in October. So we go through the whole court process with those cases, and once they're relinquished to us, then they're available for adoption. So we get them from cruelty cases, owner surrenders. We handle, right now it's kitten season, so we get kittens from all different situations. We probably have 60 or so kittens right now. We use foster homes for a lot of them until they're over 2 pounds, so we can get them fixed. All of our animals are fixed, vaccinated, microchipped, dewormed. They get their flea treatment. And then even if they require additional boosters like puppies or kittens, those are all included in adoption fees. You actually come back and see us. So ultimately, we send you home with an animal that's as healthy as we can get them and up to date on their shots for a year. Adoption fees. Our dogs, we have dog and puppy adoption fees. So any puppy up to 5 months old is $180. Adult dogs are $160. And that small price difference is because the puppies require a couple more vaccines than the adult dogs. So we have those two price points, and if you do some comparison, $160 for a dog is really an amazing price for everything that we include. I mean, fixing a dog at the vet these days is $200, $300, $400. Even if you come to our spay neuter clinic that we offer, it's $110. So then you add all those other things we do. $160 is an amazing value, and you're rescuing a dog. So there's that built-in love and respect from these guys when you bring them home. They get treated well here, but there's a huge difference between laying in a kennel all day versus being able to run around in the yard at home or possibly lay on the couch. My dogs don't get to lay on the furniture, but at the same time, it's pretty cushy in comparison to hanging out in the shelter all day. Cats and kittens, we probably bring in close to 500 of those a year. Adult cats, we charge $60 for an adoption fee, and kittens are $100. Again, all of their medical is done. And then we don't really stop at basic medical. So we handle injured strays. We get a lot of owner surrenders where they can't afford the medical for their pets. So we go that extra mile. So the cat has a bad eye. We get them to the vet. We do a lot of eye removal surgery on dogs and cats. Just seems to be I don't want to call it the most popular because that sounds gruesome, but eye removal seems to be the thing that we deal a lot with injured or sick kittens or cats. So we handle all of those costs. We don't pass all of the costs along, so it's really a benefit to us when with the community support we get with donations. We use those towards our medical expenses, which we spend roughly $120,000 a year on medical expenses for our animals. So it's a huge chunk of our budget. Adoption process, I think we probably have one of the easiest adoption processes when it comes down to it. I want to refer you guys to our website if you haven't been there before, fairhumane.org. There's an adoptable pet section on there. You can see our available dogs and cats. They pop up on there with their glamour shots. Gives you a little bit of information, but we have an adoption application right on our website where you can submit. We even have people submit applications if you don't see something that you're interested in right away. We always have people submit applications so they can kind of get that process out of the way. Good rule of thumb with us, we take in animals almost every day of the week, but we do surgeries here on Fridays. So Friday afternoon, all of our new animals that become available for adoption pop up. So we really have people looking on there. And if you already have your application submitted and you see a new animal pop up, you can give us a call, shoot us an email, and say, hey, I'm interested in this particular animal. And what we do is we set up meet and greets. We want these guys, when they come to us, we consider it a traumatic experience. So we spend a lot of time making sure we place these animals in the right homes. And sometimes that means with your application, we go through and, we have a good idea of what your home situation is, who lives in the home, do you have a fenced in yard, that type of thing. And then we make sure the particular animal that you're interested in is going to work out. And sometimes we have to tell people like, hey, this animal isn't going to be best for your situation. We want to make sure that they don't go home and then come right back because we put them in a losing situation. So the application process, once we get you approved, get you in here for a meet and greet, and basically you're home with a new pet and really a quick turnaround. So once they're available, they go. We at this point are doing over 1,000 adoptions a year. So it gets, with all of our services we talked about yesterday and everything we offer, it gets a little crazy around here. I do want to point out, because it's something I've been struggling with to figure out how to resolve. In a normal business situation, you can call business, they answer the phone. We have 3 phone lines. I usually have 3 people at the front desk, and we can't keep up with the phone calls. So a lot of times you have to leave a message. I was just actually looking at our Google statistics the other day. Just from people finding us on Google, hitting our phone number to call us, we get over 1,300 calls a month just from that. So I don't know what kind of percentage that is for our phone calls, but to summarize that, we get a lot of phone calls. So don't be upset if no one answers. We're not wanting to answer your phone call. You might have to try a couple times or leave a message, shoot us an email. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of us, but do me a favor and please don't private message me on my Facebook page, because that will get lost and then I won't respond to you and then you'll be mad, and that just doesn't work out for anybody. So as far as the adoption process goes, do you guys have any thoughts, comments, questions on that? I mean, we make it as painless as possible, I think, and pretty simple for everybody. We rarely have situations where we don't get someone approved, but the basic things we look at is if you own your own home, or if you rent, we check with the landlord, make sure that you can have the particular pet you're interested in. And then if you have current pets, we do a vet reference. You know, we spend a lot of time, money, and effort to get these guys healthy, so we want to do that vet reference to make sure it kind of gives us an idea that you're going to continue that care with a new animal you get from us. Nobody has any questions, so like I'm
I
on
have a
point.
comment.
Okay.
Sometimes you come in for little yellow kittens and you end up with big pit bulls. I'm just going to put that out there. Sometimes if you don't know exactly what you want, if you go in and check something out, you know, you might come home with something different. That could be good or bad. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that happens. We encourage people to walk through so you can see everything. I mean, ultimately, I came from a sales background. I spent 20 years in retail, so everything is set up as a sales pitch. I mean, we don't force the issue because we don't want adopter remorse, if you will. But it's set up to get these guys the faster we get these guys homes, and you know how many we have at a time. When we're really full, we're caring for 120 animals here at a time. So you'll see when we take the tour too, our dogs. I don't know how many of you've been to or how many shelters you guys have visited, but I think we're unique in the fact that if our dogs tolerate or get along with other dogs, they have a kennel buddy. So they're not hanging out in the kennel by themselves all day long. And when we have our volunteer program up and running, which we don't currently, it's kind of on hiatus, the volunteers that are here throughout the day take these guys out, socialize them, take them on walks, let them run around in our dog park. So it's not a bad spot to be, but we can be caring for a lot of animals on a daily basis.
I know you just said you don't have the volunteer up and running, but can you tell me how that works in case we had someone on that would be interested in doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we do have a volunteer application on our website, again at fairhumane.org. It's just to get your information on file in case we have any issues. But we generally do volunteer orientations every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. You come to that orientation. Dave, our humane officer and dog trainer, runs you through the orientation. It's about 45 minutes to an hour. Kind of gives you the nickel tour, what to expect volunteering, like how we clean. You know, dishes are a big thing for us here, laundry, and then of course when the weather's nice, get out and get the dogs out, do some socializing with the cats and the kittens. So volunteers are important, I think, for our animal enrichment side of things. There's a lot of times we're so crazy busy. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, it was slow around here. I think I used to be able to spend half my day sitting in a dog kennel playing with a dog. But unfortunately, even with a staff of 14 of us at this point, we don't have a lot of time to do that anymore. So we really count on volunteers to come and socialize with the dogs and the cats.
How old do you have to be a volunteer?
So I don't have any. The only age restriction that I have on volunteering is when you're here without an adult. So 15 years and older, mom and dad can drop you off. You know what to do. We don't have to babysit you. But you have younger kids and you're going to come volunteer as a family, I'm completely fine with that. We always have signs posted on like what dogs can and can't go out, or they all have kennel tags. So even if you're volunteering with your younger kids, you know, like I'm looking at the kennel tag, this dog says probably not the greatest with younger kids. So you know what not to take out on a walk, you know, based on your situation. So okay. You guys really want to see the dogs and the cats, don't you? Yeah. Tired of looking at my face with the shark fin behind my head. Okay. I think, let me check. I think the girls are almost done cleaning. Hold on one sec. Okay. They're almost done, so they won't be too mad at me. So let me switch this around. Okay, so when you guys first come in our facility, we have we call them cat condos. So we try and make everybody's stay here enjoyable until they find their forever home. So we get in we have these nice cat condos where they have a separate living space and litter space. You know, who wants your bathroom right in your living room? So they're separated, but so these guys get, well, let's say we feed them pretty well, so they get a little less exercise and a little more food than maybe they need. So you're going to get a nice, fat, healthy cat most of the time. So I was kind of talking to you about the kennel tags. So you end up, all these guys have their glamour shots and their names. They're not stuck to their names. So, you know, when you have 12 to 1,400 animals a year, we got to get creative with their names. And all the girls here like food. So you'll notice a lot of the names are, I mean, we've had cereal. We've had, I don't know. With crazy food names, we get a lot. Or you'll notice themes from TV shows, stuff like that. But you don't have to keep their names. Now I just messed it up. All right, let's see who we got. I don't even know all these guys' names, but this is more cats than we've had in a while. Most of these guys are the cruelty case we discussed earlier. So they've been waiting in the back in our quarantine building for months, waiting to be able to come up here. Oh, say hello. Hi. Kitties. Good example is one where we needed to remove his eye. Hey, come here. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, where are we? We got some good looking cats right now, honestly. And then we got kittens that don't mind sleeping in their litter box. At least he's smart enough. He hasn't used the litter box yet. Hey, oh, I didn't mean to scare you. Hi. Hi. There's your brother. Who we got? Another one? I noticed none of you have your kids on this. Is there a reason that no one has their kids on here? Maybe. He looks a little nervous. Who we got? I don't know. Everyone likes to lay in their litter box. Oh, you got cool markings on your face. All right, there's our available adoptable kitties. Let's go check out the dogs, and they're being really loud right now. So I'm just going to kind of walk through there, pan through, and then I'll come back up. And then if you guys have questions, we'll try and do that. Actually, they're outside, but as you can see, everybody has their kennel tags. dog in the camera. Okay, so we only have one side full of dogs. We have been adopting animals so quickly, but I wanted to show you guys. So another unique part about our shelter, this original building was built in 1939. So when the Humane Society moved in here, we did everything. We have indoor-outdoor kennels with a roof. So at least they get some indoor-outdoor time regardless if we have the ability to send them up there to our dog park. Oh, you got your toy. You got your toy? Okay, so if you saw the last puppy at the end, that puppy has never been socialized and is completely terrified. Like you touch it, it screams like you're killing it. So it needs some work. But, whew, okay, you guys gotta have questions. Like, even why did it look like all you have is pits? I mean, that's a valid question. We have a few, we always have probably 5 or 6. I think probably in the last few years, you know, I think everyone believes the most popular dog has always been a lab. Like, oh, that's a family dog. I think for years there were so many regulations and places where pits weren't allowed. They've gotten a bad reputation over the years. Rachel can attest because she has a couple. I had one. Everyone here actually, I think, has one. They're great dogs. They're great family dogs, but I think there were so many underground pit owners that nobody got them fixed. Nobody, you know, it was just kind of, I don't know, or was it a manly thing to breed your pit and sell pit puppies? But I think the breed was just, I think as humans, we caused the problem with pits being such a, you know, I guess a popular breed in the sense that they're all over the place. So, but they stay here maybe a little longer, but we also, we are a no-kill shelter with an asterisk because we're not going to send something home that could potentially hurt somebody. And honestly, we don't get a lot of pits like that. We get more dog bite incidents from little dogs, you know, little dogs with Napoleon syndrome. And I think the one thing that I like to point out with adoptions too is we have so many families coming in and looking, and they feel like if they have little kids, they need a small dog. And in reality, small dogs, wiener dogs, chihuahuas, whatever, they don't like small kids. So, you know, some of them do, don't get me wrong, but we deal and see more little dogs that don't like little kids. So having a big dog, medium-sized dog, not a problem. As you can see right now, we didn't have a lot of small breed dogs, but we usually have a pretty good mix. So I always tell people, look, if you don't see something that you're interested in today, we might have what you're interested in tomorrow because we bring in so many. And I think we talked about it yesterday, but we transfer in more dogs from other counties, other communities than what we actually take in from our county. So, and I think that's a positive thing in the fact that as a humane society and as a county, and even I'll give some credit to the dog shelter as well. I think we really have educated the community well over the last few years to where we always have puppies, but they're not puppies from our community. So we've really done well in the outreach and education on spaying and neutering and all of that. So the fact that we've been able to step out of our boundaries of Fairfield County and help other communities is fantastic. And over the next couple of years, you will see an expansion of the Fairfield Area Humane Society outside of the county. We want to really be a multi-county organization when it comes to animal welfare. So with that, I think we got a couple minutes for questions if anybody has some.
I want to know how Carissa adopted kittens while we were on this. She get those kittens from you?
No.
Aren't they the cutest?
They're pretty cute.
I love what you said about pit bulls, though, about them being good family dogs, because that's what we have. We have a pit bull, and he has been by far the best dog I've ever owned in my entire life.
Yep.
So
I have to
good with my kids.
Yep. I have to agree. My pit, when I started here, one of the biggest things my wife told me is she says, "Hey, you're going to take this job. You're not going to turn into your parents." And at the time, my parents had like 8 dogs, and she's like, "We're not doing that." Well, was it 3 or 4 months into me working here, a pit came in, blue eyes that stared into my soul every time I walked by the kennel, and she had drool hanging out. I did this fundraising event, and I locked myself in a dog kennel run in front of Carnival Foods. I was there for 48 hours. I slept in it and everything. And this dog was with me the whole time. So I took her home for a play date, and she never left. But she was a pit, and she was the best dog. My kids were young at the time, and they'd lay all over that dog. Probably not something I'd suggest, but she was awesome. And I tell you what, she would step in between any family member of mine and someone that was there to cause a problem. So they're great family dogs.
Yes, very much so.
Yep. So are you adopting those kittens on your own, Carissa, or are you showing them, hoping we'll take them in?
No, they're already adopted.
Good.
But they came in last night because of the storms. But I have them outside in a crate, in a huge dog crate on my front porch, because, well, they're getting a little bit too big to be inside the house. But right now my daughter has them in her room. So I would give you a tour of her room, but she's 10. So I'd rather not. So I'm focusing on the kittens.
Well, we do have a foster program for people wanting to help us foster kittens. So maybe when you get rid of those,
I might consider it. Yeah, I might consider it. I'll let you know.
Okay. Anybody else? No questions? Make sure you hop over to fairhumane.org so you can check out all the ones you saw in the video. And again, those aren't the only ones that we have. Those are just the ones that are available for adoption. So we have our quarantine building that is full. We have a couple dogs going through heartworm treatment, which is a 6-month process. I think we have a mom and nursing puppies back there. We have a couple other puppies we're trying to socialize before they come up for adoption. But so again, we always have something new, and you never know what's going to come in the door on any given day. So definitely make sure our website and even our Facebook page, when it gets up and running again, make sure to like those and keep that in your tab so we can help you find a dog or a cat.
Corey, I do have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
During all of this quarantine and everything, I know that there was a lot more adoptions done. Have you seen any kind of an uptick in people now wanting to return them after things have started opening back up and going back to work?
So in our situation, as of right now, no. We haven't seen a flood of returns, which is a good thing. It was something that we were concerned with. I mean, there's always that possibility, but I feel like we've done a pretty good job in vetting our adopters to make sure it's just not an impulse buy. And, because we kind of slow down the process a little bit to make sure they're just like, they drove by, they saw us, we were open, they came in and wanted to adopt something. So we haven't seen that, and I'm hoping we don't here in the next couple months.
Yes, that's a good thing. I think we were talking about that at one time, and you were afraid that could be happening. So it's good to know that they're still, keeping them at the house.
So far, so good.
Good.
Is that worse at Christmas?
Actually, believe it or not, no, we don't have. I know plenty of shelters around or across the country have that problem, but we don't. Up until this past December's aren't our biggest adoption month. I mean, it's like 4th or 5th biggest adoption month. We actually, so we don't really have that problem. Summertime, beginning of summer, when people are home and the kids are home, that seems to be when our adoptions increase. And that just shows that we have some smart adopters. They got that 2 months, 3 months to integrate their new pet into their family life and their schedule. So I gotta say, aside from the generally dumb stuff that we deal with, I'm pretty impressed by most of the people that come through here wanting to adopt a pet. They have a good head on their shoulders, and some of the ones we don't, we just kind of politely figure out how to send out the door.
I adopted Farley in December, just so you know, in case you forgot.
No, I didn't forget, but I didn't want to. That totally ruined the whole theme of what I just said, Rachel. So
I didn't bring him back. It's totally fine.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I've wanted to many times, but that's not on you. That's on me and him. So.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Nothing. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I wanted to remind you guys again, I know I said this at the beginning, but I want to say it again for people that weren't on. For the upcoming virtual communities, you can find those on the Community Connections calendar on fairfielddd.com under Connections, Community Connections, and you can add those to your Google Calendar. I also wanted to mention next Tuesday, Destination Downtown Lancaster is going to be on, and Thursday, Rabbit and Rocket. And then also on Friday, there's a special day for United Way Day of Action. We're going to have the library on at 11, the recycling center on at 12. 3 o'clock, we'll have YMCA with Kids Zumba, and 4 o'clock, Art and Clay on Main will be doing kids crafts. So that'll be coming up next week. I think that's all for today. Thank you, Corey, for coming on again.
You're welcome.
This will be on YouTube this afternoon. So if anybody wants to share, if they heard something that they thought someone else would enjoy or something someone needed to know, you can share that link too.
Is Corey going to be the speaker for Destination Downtown too, since he seems to be our regular now?
What was that?
I wondered if you were going to do the one for Destination Downtown, since this is like your 13th in a row already.
Oh no, I think Amanda Everett will be your go-to girl for that one, and I don't mind sharing with Amanda, but I feel like she's the boss whenever we're in a room together. So we'll just leave it at that.
We could make you the Ryan Seacrest of virtual community. You could just
there you go.
That'd be amazing.
We could do one of these if you guys like really want to think outside the box. I mean, I'm on city council. You could sit in a city council meeting with me and be bored out of your mind. I do have a public works committee meeting at 7:30 a.m. on Friday. I can always, show you the ins and outs of how street paving is done and what it costs and why your street's not paved yet.
Okay, that you're laughing, but someone might really want to know that. But the comments may be a little crazier than what you're getting today.
Yes. Well, I have an email specifically for that, so we can do that.
Good to know.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thank you so much again. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.